There you go.
Okay, where is that? Where is that metta recital?
So you need to share your screen. Click here.
Share screen?
Mm-hmm. And then choose it. And then press share.
Okay, friends. Let us begin with the metta recital. I hope you can hear me. I muted them. Okay. All right. Okay, thumbs up. Very good. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below and all around, unobstructed, without hate or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. With this metta thought, let us begin our formal practice. At this time, make your body straight, upright and relaxed. Then pay total, undivided, mindful attention to your breath. Mindful attention is not thinking of the past or the future, or verbalizing, or letting greed, hatred and delusion enter the mind. So we pay pure, simple, direct attention to our breath. When we pay attention exclusively to our breath, we notice breath touching our nostrils, reaching our lungs, and expanding lungs, and expanding lower abdomen. As we breathe out, we notice the lower abdomen contracts, lungs contract, the breath leaves the nostrils. These are the functions that take place every time we breathe in and breathe out. There is no variation. And then when the mind is locked in it, then no greed can invade our mind. Greed or desire, clinging, has no place because the breath is moving in and out, in and out, in and out. Mind is totally focused on it. And then the breath relaxes, the body relaxes, mind relaxes. In the relaxed state of mind, we experience a degree of loving friendliness that we recited earlier. Loving friendliness also has 3 levels: reciting or verbalizing level, thinking level, and experiencing level. So when the body and mind are relaxed and comfortable, we experience friendliness, metta, for all living, breathing beings. So resentment, anger, rigidity fades away. This is an impediment to the progress of our insight. And then we get even more relaxed feeling, more calm, peaceful state. The breath, the body, mind are more peaceful, calm, and relaxed. This may lead to sleepiness very naturally. When the body, mind, breath all are relaxed, your sitting is comfortable, environment is comfortable, everything is in your favor. That is the very good moment that mind takes the advantage to become sluggish, drowsy, and sleepy. And then, of course, no matter how long we sleep, even though sleepiness is very sweet, welcoming, tempting, if we won't get up from sleep with new insight, because mind is sluggish, not clear and pure. We know this. Knowing this arouses our spiritual energy to overcome this particular mental state. When we overcome that, the opposite of sleepiness can arise. That is restlessness and worry or remorse. Restlessness, worry or remorse arise due to some incomplete work or incorrect things we have done in the past. So we learn this and bring the mind back to the present moment, using again our energy, spiritual energy, and becoming more mindfulness, talking to us in this case that this is very precious moment, which is very rare to acquire, and therefore when that moment arises, we must make use of that moment. That is the moment in the present moment. So we learn to keep the mind lodged in the present moment. Present moment we can notice in our breath. Breath is moving in and out, in the present moment. We cannot think of the past breath or the future breath. Past is gone, future has not come to us. So what we have at hand is the present breath, feeling of the present breath. We bring the mind back to it. And then sleep, the restlessness, worry fades away. These are very practical suggestions, practical advice from our own personal experience. We know this to be very sure. So we bring the mind to the present moment without verbalizing, conceptualizing, and so on. Then still there is another, what we call a hindrance, that is doubt. We don't know, sometimes people can have doubt whether or not they can become successful in the practice. Sure enough, we can, because we already have overcome certain mental hindrances such as greed, resentment, restlessness and worry, sleepiness and drowsiness. We have been able to overcome them. That is our success. So we can do this. We can overcome this doubt as well, knowing, seeing, experiencing our own success. And the one who introduced this is the Buddha. We have confidence in the Buddha. The method we follow now is called Dhamma. We have confidence in Dhamma. And the community that practice this and gain success, we trust in them and we fall into their category, and we can have confidence in them to follow their examples so we can overcome our doubt. Having taken care of all these hindrances, then the mind is clear and got out all these impediments out of our mind. Now we are on the right path where we see rising and falling of breath, rising and falling of feelings, rising and falling of perceptions, rising and falling of thoughts, and rising and falling of consciousness. When all this we notice rising, falling, incessantly, then our insight into the reality of impermanence begin to grow. And that is how we will be able to overcome our greed, hatred, and delusion. In order to achieve this success, friends, let us continue this practice for next few minutes until I ring the little bell. It's here.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I've heard the name.
Where is the other part? Dukkha pattacare dukkha.
There is.
Right. By means of this meritorious deed, may I never join with the foolish, may I join always with the wise, until the time I attain Nibbana. May the suffering be free from suffering, may the fear-struck be free from fear, may the grieving be free from grief, so too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings arisen in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. Now, friends, I'm glad that we spent this few minutes in meditation. Now I'm going to start my talk on Dukkha. We mentioned some of it last time, and we mentioned it many times in the past. We will mention it many times in the future, because this is very important fact, the first truth of the Noble Eightfold Path. The more we talk about it, less fear of dukkha we will experience. Many people are afraid to talk about dukkha because the word itself makes them suffer. So we have to understand that the Buddha always spoke the truth. He did not beat around the bush. He was very direct, straight to the point. No matter how many people disagree, he wanted to speak of the truth and explain it. Then dukkha is explained as dukkha is physical and emotional discomfort, which everybody experience all the time. Physical discomfort is very clear when you are sitting. Now you have been sitting for little more than half an hour. You experience it, some physical discomfort, and you cannot live without that. If you stand for a certain period, then you experience physical discomfort. If you lie down in your bed on your back, after some time you experience discomfort. If you lie down on your side, after a while you experience discomfort. If you sleep on your face down, after a while you experience discomfort. No matter what posture we assume, after a while we experience discomfort. First time it is pleasant, we like it, but the law of diminishing return is always in action. It's functioning. The comfort slowly reduces. Discomfort slowly increases. You cannot avoid that. You may say, can I live without that? No. However, Buddha did not end there. He gave a way, we will discuss all this later. And then mental discomfort. Physical discomfort, I just outlined very few things. You drive in a very comfortable car, sitting for a while, and then you twist and turn because that sitting, although the vehicle is extremely comfortable, it may be first class on the airplane or Bentley and Rolls Royce or Belt or BMW or whatever. Very comfortable car. Drive for a while, you experience discomfort. No matter what you experience in your body, how pleasant, it turns out to be discomfort, uncomfortable. Because of this law of diminishing return is always in operation, functioning. And then mental discomfort. We think, I don't have to give you examples of mental discomfort because everybody experiences it, though they may not accept it. You like to see objects. How long can you see that? You get tired of it. You hear sounds, music, beautiful music, the excellent, best music in the world. After a while you get tired. You smell beautiful things. After a while you will be tired. These are all mental. You eat all sort of foods on earth, going from place to place, restaurant to restaurant, country to country. Keep eating. How long you can do that? You experience discomfort. You come to a point that is beyond that you cannot go. Then you keep touching things that again I mentioned earlier, and keep thinking. Even the Buddha mentioned in Vitakka Santa, Deda Vitakka Sutta that he divided thoughts into two categories, unwholesome category and wholesome category. Seeing unwholesome category and their danger, he switched on to wholesome category. Wholesome category was very comfortable, no danger, it always has benefits. Unwholesome thought have adhinava. Wholesome thoughts have anisansa. Adhinava means danger, anisansa means benefit. So when he was thinking before attaining enlightenment, he was thinking of always wholesome thoughts, arousing wholesome thought, sustaining wholesome thoughts. He stayed perhaps the entire night or day with these wholesome thoughts. Then he found it also was making him tired. Even these wholesome thoughts made him tired before attaining enlightenment. Of course, after attaining enlightenment, the story is different. We will discuss that later on. So, even such a person who has developed his mind to the highest level, even when he was in training himself to attain that level, he experienced mental discomfort. So this is not something typical or particular to ourselves. This is universal truth. Mental discomfort is very common. Sometimes we call it a sickness. When you go to a psychologist, psychiatrist, psychoanalysts, and ask him or them to give you a list of mental sickness, they will come up with large, long list. I have not studied it, but I can see how that can happen. There are all kind of mental sickness causing mental discomfort to the entire life, and that is suffering. And then, I just make a sort of an outline of this for you to think whether we have suffering or not. Think of this. And then growth is uncomfortable. We call, when we all know, when we were growing up, in spite of our play, joy, laugh, running around, engaged in all kind of beautiful, very healthy, wholesome activities, we still experience the pain of growth. That, of course, we have to, at that time, since we are immature, we have to be guided by the elders, parents, teachers, brothers, sisters, society, government, and so forth and so on. Every time they reprimand us, punish us, tell us not to do this, not to do that, don't say this, don't say. Did we experience pleasure? No. We experience pain, the growing sickness, growing suffering. And that growing suffering, is it going to stop when we are grown? When are we going to stop growing? It never stops. But the name changes. That stage people call us growing. Then we call us maturing. And then we change the different term. That's called old age. Old age. So, does then growing stop there? No. We are not growing up, we are growing down. Going down. Is that pleasure? That is painful. I know that for sure. I have gone through the entire process from the childhood to youth and middle age and old age now. I know that. I can tell you this from my own personal life. If you look at your life, you have gone through these stages. Sometimes people call passages, from this stage to next stage and next stage to next stage and so on. Growing is not a pleasure. Growing is suffering. The worst of all is death. Is it a pleasure to die? It is not a pleasure. It is suffering. Not only the person that dies, but that person's relatives, friends, parents, acquaintances, sometimes even to the neighborhood, village, country. It is a painful thing. So that is suffering. And then, is that enough? No, we have more categories of suffering. Next is, this also we all experience, separation from loved ones by death or by moving from one point A to point B. That is painful. That is suffering. We always say, I miss so and so. How many times we have cried for separating ourselves from our loved ones? Because we have the reason for that. We explain these reasons later on, but now I want to talk only on this. Suffering. And then, whenever we meet or have to live with somebody, something, someplace that we don't like, you go to work, your boss is so mean. Are you happy there? Your co-workers are so jealous, always bickering, fighting, quarreling, nitpicking, finding something or other to irritate you, hurt you. Is it a pleasure to go day in, day out to work in that place? So, someone whom you don't like, for one reason or other, you don't like, can you live with them? So, that is so much painful. That is suffering. But you have to work. You have to earn your living. You have to have a resource to survive yourself. So you have to work, whether you like it or not. You grudgingly, reluctantly, you have to go there every day. Otherwise you have to starve to death. So, living with unloved, unlovable, disagreeable, hostile persons, places and environment is suffering. You just think of this. We all must honestly, sincerely think of it. Don't accept it, don't reject it blindly, but think very carefully, is it true? And then what you not getting whatever you want is suffering. Not getting whatever you want is suffering. But then you might ask, if we get what we want, does suffering go away? No. You want something, when you don't get it, you have suffering. But when you get it, are you happy? I don't think so. Again you have suffering. Why? You want to maintain what you got, support it, sustain it, pay bills, and take care of what you got. Your health, your husband, wives, children, houses, vehicles, properties. When you get, sometimes you feel this, that is another headache. You got to maintain it. So, even to get what, these are two tragedies in life. Not to get what one wants and to get what one wants. No escape. You are trapped. You are trapped in either way. And then the worst of all is sankhara dukkha. Sankhara. What is sankhara? Anything caused by or came to existence through causes and conditions is called sankhara. Sankhara, Buddha has, there are three factors. One is sankhara, other is sankhata. Sankhata is that which is, sankhara is the cause, sankhata is the result. This moment we are sankhata, next moment we are sankhara. Now we are here and we commit all sort of things. Then the results of those things are called sankhata. So, Buddha said there are three characteristics, three marks of sankhata. What are they? Uppado panyayati, vayo panyayati, titasa anyatattang panyayati. Uppado panyayati, arising is discernible, visible, detectable, knowable, arising. Then disappearance, vayo means disappearing, fading away, vanishing, is visible, discernible, detectable. So, that is the second. Third is what is in between thitasa. Thita is what is between rising and falling. There is the third state that is called thita, steady, fixed, present, existing moment. Even the existing moment is altering. Titasa anyatattang. Anyatattang means going from one situation to next. This is the nature of impermanence. Impermanence doesn't stop. Impermanence doesn't stop. It never stops anything. Whatever arises, it arises with impermanence. And therefore, sankhata, the results of sankhara, also has these three characteristics: rising, falling, and altering what exists. And therefore, even that brings us suffering. Rising is birth, falling is death, thita is existing. Existing itself is a not fixed thing. Nothing is fixed. Everything is in a state of flux, moving, changing, appearing and disappearing and disappearing. And therefore this whole process is not satisfactory. Nobody can deny this, although people out of prejudice and ignorance may say, Buddha always talk about it is pessimistic religion, all this pessimism, pessimistic and so on. It is just because of their ignorance of the truth. But when we look at the truth, friends, we say I very often I mention that not to get what one wants is suffering. It is just like I say, you want something that you like very much. I don't know what you like, but suppose somebody likes to have a BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, Porsche, and Rolls-Royce or Bentley. Got it. That person got it. And then along with that, headache comes. So I call it, you buy one, get one free. You buy one, get one free. That is why Buddha said, yo sukhang abhinandati, so dukkhang abhinandati. One who enjoys pleasure, enjoys pain. One who enjoys pleasure, enjoys pain. Because pain comes along with pleasure. You cannot tell pleasure or pain, well, you stay behind, I only need pleasure. It never happens. And therefore, you cannot deny the very reality, the fact and the truth that we always experience. We have to think about them. Now, in order to arouse our spiritual urgency, to encourage us to understand this truth and try to cleanse our mind, because all this comes from the mind. As Buddha very clearly mentioned, Mano Pubbangama Dhamma, all the Dhammas, all the good and bad, all comes from the mind. The way how we think. And therefore, Buddha wanted us to first understand this reality and then do something about it if we really want to get rid of this nagging suffering, pain. For that, in Samyutta Nikaya, if you have a Samyutta Nikaya, read Annama Tagga Samyutta. In Samyutta Nikaya volume 2, that is indiscernible, the beginning of samsara is indiscernible. That's a very, I like to give a summary of it in my next talk, but today I think my time is up and therefore I don't want to touch upon that right now. I will bring some of the similes, examples, that parables Buddha used to explain this. There he has given almost 19 ways to explain the nature of suffering. That is, that comes along with birth. So now I want to stop it. I hope you will not turn away from these discourses, this reality. Rather, you try to delve into the depth of it and understand it and follow the teachings of the Buddha. With this, I want to end this morning's talk. Friends, I started this series of talks last year in March, especially when this COVID-19 started. I also did not mention among sickness is suffering. Now you all have witnessed through the news, through videos, or through mass media, I think every even little child in the world have come to know what suffering is, what kind of suffering sickness brings, because this COVID-19 has devastating effect on all over the world. Just imagine such a tiny thing which can be destroyed by the very little soap. Soap is, liquid soap or solid soap you apply. That little soap can kill this, but itself is so powerful that can kill many people. Little soap can kill that which can kill human beings. See how fragile our life is. So we want to wish all those who are in hospitals suffering from COVID-19 or any other sickness, may they recover very quickly and return to normal life and continue their practice until the end of their life. Also, there are many wonderful, compassionate doctors, nurses, and hospital staffs who not only dedicate their lives, but they take risks of their own life because they are also possible to expose to this sickness, and we all want to wish them peace, safety, health, good health, and to continue their very compassionate, benevolent service. And there are many others who have lost their loved ones. As I mentioned earlier, once they lost their loved ones, the suffering that brings to them is immeasurable. Grief, pain, sorrow, lamentation. May they recover from that very soon and return to normal health, continue their Dhamma practice, including meditation. And there are many world leaders who have taken initiative to encourage people to take care of themselves, giving guidelines, encouraging them to stay from patients who are affected by COVID, and also they encouraged and enforced distributing vaccines, and millions of people are already vaccinated, and these leaders are also very compassionate, far-sighted, wise leaders. Let them also have very wonderful, peaceful, healthy life. There are other leaders who are lagging behind in that, and of course now, even though they are late, now they have taken some steps to distribute vaccine to help people all over their areas and countries. May they continue their wise, insightful effort. And overall, those who are very wisely using their skill, their education, discovered these vaccines in several countries, and we want to wish them peace, happiness for introducing this to humanity for their well-being and happiness. May they live long in good health. Overall, each and everyone in the world be well, happy and peaceful, live long in good health. Thank you for coming and participating in this, and I hope next week you come again, and we will
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, Bhante.
Bhante,
Sadhu,
sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante and Brian.
Thank
you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Sadhu, sadhu. Bhante.
Thank you.
okay.
Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you. Satima.
Thank you, Bhante.
you, Bhante.
Okay.
Thank you, Bhante.
Everyone Saranai Bhante.
Kirwan Saranai.
Lushani, London. Willing.
Saranai Bhante.
Visaka. Hi. Visaka from England.
So Bhante, Teruvan Saranai, me
Teruvan
Lushani, London. Willing.
From London?
Lushani Bhante.
Lusani. I don't see you.
I'm on them. I haven't switched on the video, Bhante.
Okay.
Teruvan Saranai
Teruvan
Bhante.
Saranai, yeah? Bye.
Teruvan
And
Saranai.
Anoma from Australia. Okay.